Okay, this is the structure you need to have an SEO authoritative website. So Google really likes if you have a lot of information. So for example, let's say you have listicles, right? Listicles is just a list. And you've seen this before. These are like top 25 tools to use for XYZ, right? So you have one blah blah blah, and you have a link to a tool, and then you have two blah blah blah, and then you have a link to a tool, and those are listicles. And you want these because these are your affiliate money makers for your blog. And um, likewise, though, what you need is a bunch of supplementary articles to support this. So let's say you're promoting product X, Y, Z, or whatever, right? Um, how Google will see it is the internal links from one of your pages to another one of your pages is extremely important to build authority, because if you have a more complete body of work, then Google will like you as an authority. So these are affiliate links right here. So these are external links, meaning they go to a website that's not yours, but Google really wants you to have more internal links to basically make this listicle a bit better. So one way you could do it, and technique, is you can just have an article say X versus Y, X versus Z, and so on and so forth, right? And it's like, well, all the combinations of all the tools compared to each other, talking about the pros and cons, the pricing and things and so forth. And then in each of these, you can link back to the listicle and vice versa, right? To learn more about X versus Y, you can go here, or if you don't want to do this, you don't necessarily have to, but you can basically do a lot of these pairwise comparisons. And this is basically a library of your domain expertise, which is comparing, all these different services, products, tools against each other. Anyway, so let's say now I want to start building this encyclopedia body of work where I do like Wraith Scribe versus, Copy AI, Jasper, and so on, right? Prior to this, I can only enter a blog title. By just entering a blog title, the AI might not know much about Jasper, and certainly doesn't really know much about Wraith Scribe as it's relatively new. What you can do now to get around that is, instead of just giving it a blog title and have it freestyle, which you still can, you can put a long description instead, where you give the AI more hints as to what to write about. So for example, if I want to make, compare Wraith Scribe versus Jasper, I can talk about things that the AI might not know about, right? AI lets you pick article length. Jasper doesn't. It does semantic keyword search for you like SEO Surfer. Jasper doesn't. Has an AI powered editor. Jasper doesn't, and so on and so forth. And now what I can do is just simply press write, and it'll be on its way. So one thing to note is that, let's say you didn't want to put a long description and you just want to put a blog title, you still can just put like a brief blog title like, oh, Wraith Scribe is the best one-click SEO. Like, Wraith Scribe is the best one-click SEO AI writer. If you do this, it'll automatically know it's a blog title and riff on this topic based on what you give it. If you have more product specific things, you can optionally put a longer description. It'll automatically detect that this is a long description, and try to incorporate all these different details that you want to put into it. Okay, so I spent the next 11 minutes paraphrasing, editing this article. One thing, to note that is that this is still in beta as of this video. So there is a little bit of redundancy for if you put in a description, because it seems like it tries to really incorporate the information you give it, as opposed to do a little bit of freestyling of its own. Whereas if you give it a blog title, it's a lot better at producing unique and non-redundant stuff. So this is a little bit redundant in a few different sections. And yeah, I'll sort of modify and tweak it so that it's a lot more suited for product descriptions in comparison in the future. But even with some redundancy, polishing and editing about 1,500 words was about 11 minutes. So, all in all, it's still a very fast way to write articles. I just published it and it took about 11 minutes to do 1,500 words. I'll refine it more and more in the future, so it'll take less editing as time goes on. Hopefully target 5 minutes per 1,000 words. But yeah, you can see like if it takes even 10 minutes, 11 minutes per 1,000 words, what you could do is you could build up a large encyclopedia of comparisons between different services and products. And you can build a fairly good domain specific authority in Google's eyes by having a lot of these. And then when you're finally ready to build that listicle, which is this page, all of these, Wraith Scribe versus Jasper, Wraith Scribe versus blah, blah versus blah, you can kind of now build a very nice ecosystem within your website, which is highly authoritative in Google's eyes.